Well, hi everyone. I'm John Rethlin with my review of WWE NXT, and let's jump right on into it with some cruiserweight tournament action. Mauro and Beth on commentary. So Mauro was great, and Beth was also there. Beth is not bad, she's just not great on commentary. She's trying, and she has a knowledge of having been in the ring for many years, but she's still not that good. And Tom also chimed in when he did. He was kind of the host slash commentator as well. And we get Swerve versus El Hijo del Fantasma. We get Killshot versus King Cuerno. Lucha Underground finally invading NXT, despite the fact that Lucha Underground folded a while ago without ever being officially folded. Let's be honest, it shouldn't have gone past season 3, because season 4, from my understanding, wasn't very good. So anyway, flippy shit mixed with some good wrestling, as you would expect with these guys. You know, I've met Swerve multiple times on independent shows. Great talent. Wrestles just as hard in front of like 200 or 500 people as he does now in front of no people, but like when he would wrestle in front of the Full Sail crowd, or if he would wrestle on house shows. He wrestles hard no matter what the crowd size is. Phantasma is also very good with a lot of veteran experience. Was this one point, though, where they're standing on the ropes and Phantasma's just kind of standing there waiting for her Karana. I don't know what the fuck that was. That was a little bit odd. But we get some near falls. We get some good action here, some good dives. It's a well-worked match. And eventually, Scott gets a quick crucifix pin. 1, 2, 3. It's the third crucifix pin between this and Dynamite. So, it's very crucifix heavy. Maybe they all want to crucify each other. I don't fucking know. But it certainly wasn't bad. It wasn't like the greatest match ever, but it was a pretty good match for what it was. Swerve references his time facing Phantasma and Lucha Underground without naming the actual company. And then Dominic Dijakovic talks about Johnny Gargano and the system and everything, the NXT system failing him, despite the fact that said system got him into about 46,000 takeovers. That was pretty funny. It was actually 46,001. Doesn't seem like that many takeover matches. And challenges Gargano for a match next week. Cool. All right. And the Mask guys came into the Performance Center. Apparently they got clearance. And tried to kidnap Phantasma again. We know Phantasma's behind this thing, but they're trying to swerve us. It's just not very interesting. I don't mind stables being created, but I don't care. I don't care. I just don't. We have enough. We have stables as it is. We have a stable on Raw. We have, miscellaneous pieces on SmackDown. Well, we have a couple of stables, I guess. But, we have the Undisputed Era. And, you want to create one, cool, but just, I don't know. This isn't working for me, but the talent is there to make it work if they actually, don't fuck it up. They may fuck it up. Who the fuck knows? So we get Candice LeRae with new theme music. She is called the Pint-Sized Poison, and that's just her promos. I know it seems like I'm going to be needlessly mean about Candice and Gargano, but we are a week into this, and I hate it. I hate it. Gargano, oh, she's the greatest women's wrestler. She's the greatest woman in NXT, all this. It's like the Robert Stone, Chelsea Green thing, except, Gargano has about half the charisma. And Gargano's a fantastic wrestler, but this isn't going to work. He's like a more annoying Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn at least has enough charisma and good promo skills to make something work. But yeah, he got overbearing at some point. And I'm talking his on-screen character. Sami Zayn, the person, by the way, has every right to speak his political opinions and speak as a citizen, of Canada and I'm sure of the U.S. I think he has dual citizenship. So guess what, folks? Even if he doesn't, he can fucking speak up if he wants because he knows people that are suffering. So he's allowed to fucking speak up. You don't like it? Don't fucking listen to Sami Zayn. That's all I'm going to say right there. Oh, he needs to keep his mouth shut as a Canadian. Well, guess what? He has every right to say what the fuck he says, especially about, certain people like an idiot in the White House. And if you have a problem with me saying that, guess what? My opinion, I can say that if I want. So anyway, let's get back to the show. She took on Casey Catanzaro. Easy for me to say. And Gargano was at ringside. Okay, cool. The match was okay. Casey's fine. Candice, she's good in the ring. All they did was she hit a curb stomp, which is called, I guess, the Wicked Stepsister for whatever reason. And she locks on the Gargano escape after she pins Casey. She goes back to the ring, locks on the Gargano escape, works on her neck. They factor that in a little bit later. So basically, they made Candice Gargano's wife before. And now they had a chance to reinvent her and everything and make her this evil character, give her a bit of an edge, and put her out on her own. Nope, they're making her an evil version of Gargano's wife. Cool. So we're right in the same place. We just rearranged the furniture a little bit. That's really what we did here. So Priest talks about facing Lee later, and says that says his stick is going to be more than a match for Keith Lee's BBC. I might have heard that, but I digress. Riddle and Thatcher are are out there, and suddenly Riddle decides to take a shot at what fans have said and also what WWE does, putting random guys in tag teams. And there's something called the Newly Bros Show. Look, Riddle, I hate to admit that Riddle made me laugh a few times, but in Thatcher's straight face stuff actually kind of worked. But Byron was hosting, and I got nothing against Byron, but this was stupid. And yes, it was meant to be stupid, but it wasn't very entertaining. This is just as bad as the whole bubbly bunch thing that Dynamite did tonight. So to me, it wasn't any better. But Byron says, well, is it true that one time Tim pulled a guy's eye out of his socket and, in a match? Yeah, that's true. They mentioned, what did Riddle have for breakfast? I don't know. And Riddle says, I don't know what I had for breakfast. I wake and the wife bakes. We get it. Riddle smokes weed, in case you didn't figure it out, in case they didn't hit you over the head enough with it. Netflix and chill, don't know why that was brought up. And Byron said professional wrestler. Byron is about to get lashed by Vince. Hopefully verbally. Can't imagine Vince has gone that much off the deep end that he would do that. He would never book two black men in a strap match into, Extreme Rules 2010. Oh boy, that was good. Except it wasn't at all. They talked about where is the weirdest place that Thatcher has ever done it, and talking about, of course, he doesn't even own a TV. He's talking about just like like in the ring or whatever. But then the time I had a three-way in a laundromat or whatever, and Riddle says a threesome on the washer. I can't lie that my mind went straight to the gutter. Speed round is what came up, and he said speed's not really my thing. And then Eichner and Bartel saved this by attacking and hitting the Axis bomb because they're Italian and German. Do you get it? And that was it. Okay, we're going to get that match at some point because Pete Dunne can't travel due to the restrictions. So, Dream versus Cole next week. I really hope this stuff with Velveteen Dream just turns out to be doctored shit and isn't something actually true. If it actually does turn out to be true, his career should be over. But it seems like it was made up. So, Mia versus Charlotte. Okay, I got a question. Why are they insisting that Charlotte is, great for the NXT women's division when she hasn't helped any woman in her career since coming up to the main roster? Name one that she helped. Name one that got elevated. Becky was already on the ascent at that point. I've ranted about stuff like that before, so guess what? All I'm going to simply say is this. After Charlotte won, it was embarrassing, by the way. This was not a very good match because Charlotte, maybe if Charlotte didn't have two freaking water balloons in her chest, she could actually move better in the ring. Like, seriously, I'm worried that something is going to hurt her if she keeps moving like that. That she's got to do something because it just doesn't look like she can move naturally. And then Io comes out and says, next week, you're mine. Io needs to beat her in 5 minutes because we need to get the NXT Women's Championship on somebody that doesn't look like a Ric Flair real doll with fake tits. We need to get Charlotte out of the goddamn title picture because Charlotte, Mrs. Golden Shovel Girl, is a goddamn embarrassment at this point. A great athlete, I will not deny that. And you can be a Charlotte fan. You can like her. You can think that she's the queen. She's all this and everything. She is a Ric Flair wannabe. She is a great athlete, but Ric Flair, on his worst day, would have a better match than Charlotte Flair had on her best day. Am I saying she's had shitty matches? No. I'm just saying that Ric Flair made people. Charlotte hasn't made anybody. She's made people worse, and the NXT women's division is worse off having her as champion. And yeah, I know, maybe they're trying to get, fans like me to buy into the fact, fans that have watched for 30-something years to, buy into the fact that, oh, well, you're angry at Charlotte, and then when somebody beats her, it'll mean more. No, it fucking won't mean anything, and Io needs to beat her in 5 goddamn minutes. Squash her, humiliate her, degrade her character. And I don't want anything bad happening to Charlotte as far as injuries, as far as illness, as far as anything like that. I want her to retire. I want her off of WWE TV for good because I'm fucking sick of her because she's Triple H during the Reign of Terror, only somehow worse. Though she hasn't at least said anything like someone like you will never be champion. If she does that with Io, then Io is well within her rights to basically squash her with about 5 moonsaults. Io is a much better wrestler than Charlotte will ever hope to be, and Io should be champion. That's why Io's probably going to lose next week. Now, I want to be wrong and I want to eat my goddamn words, but Charlotte's a fucking embarrassment. She's a fucking embarrassment to the NXT women's division. And at this point, I would rather have her gone from TV, go off and have a bunch of little flares with Andrade. She's done everything she can. A bunch of women have been buried by her, or at least, cut down by her, if not buried. So let's just get the championship on somebody better. And let's get Charlotte off fucking TV so deserving women, talented women, women that actually don't look like a real doll that was half finished can be in the ring and do some goddamn good and help the women out. Not Charlotte. She ain't fucking doing that. So, Cross and Scarlett, next week, time's up. Fall and Pray. Bit weird, bit dark, but okay. Casey hurt her neck. Gargano and Candice look at them. Candice says, it's a new NXT. Get used to it. Candice, for the love of God, would you get a personality? Your husband doesn't have one, so at least try to get a personality. Balor addresses his attack next week. Dexter Lumis versus Shane Thorne. Why won't he blink? Fuck. I love Dexter Lumis, but he scares me. Shane Thorne had his fist already, but got beat in the vice and the choke out, and that was it. So, Atlas with words of encouragement to Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick then beats Tony Nese in a match that wasn't all that bad. This was the weaker of the two matches, but it was nice to see Drake Maverick get the victory. And unless WWE is swerving us, they actually haven't rehired him, and they're just using this as a way to, get some attention and everything, and make it seem like, oh, they're going to give him a job. They probably aren't going to give him his job back. I hope they do. Because Maverick deserves it. They already cut Cain Velasquez. Thank fucking Christ they cut Cain Velasquez. That was worth, killing off Kofi's title run, wasn't it? To give us Cain versus Brock 2, and it was shit. And then Cain teamed up on a goddamn house show with Humberto, and then that was it. They paid him a rumored $15 million for that. Or $10 million. Or $5 million. I don't know what the fuck they actually paid him. I think Tyson Fury got $15 million, but they paid Cain Velasquez way too much, drawing power aside, name value aside. So, Maverick won after he topped a Bulldog, and he knew he could do it. He's not leaving until he's a champion. It would be kind of cool if he won the title and walked out. We then get Priest versus Lee. And man, the arrow of annihilation or annihilation, I don't know. I might have misunderstood that. And all that beef and a lot of slapping around and everything. And you know what? This sounds less like wrestling, more like wrestling. Match was good, though. There was one point where Lee press slammed Priest over the barricade onto the apron, which is goddamn impressive, even for a guy like Keith Lee, because Priest isn't exactly a small guy. And then Lee gets run through the barricade. There's a lot of targeting of the throat and stuff like that. But eventually, despite the fact that Priest gets his stick out, he avoids the BBC, but he cannot avoid the two spirit bombs, easy for me to say, for the 1, 2, 3. And then that gets your victory right there. So, current champion, still champion, that is Keith Lee. So that's it. That's it right there. Not a bad episode of NXT. Between this and Dynamite, I think they're about 50-50. Dynamite had some better moments. This had a little more cohesion to it, but you had the bullshit thing of Mia and I got nothing against Mia Yim, by the way. But you got Golden Shovel Girl, that stupid twat that does not deserve to be NXT Women's Champion. But I'm not going to say anything more. I'll save it for next week, when she beats Io. And then if you thought that rant was bad, it's going to be even worse next week. So anyway, and I'm going to keep ranting until WWE wakes up and gets the title off of this moron. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.